Good morning and welcome to this Friday morning edition of Top Story. With all of the political discussions going on, both in the United States, of course, with the Judge Kavanaugh interesting show that's taking place there, and sort of seeing both sides of an issue from a male and female perspective. Here at home for our municipal election, happy to see so many strong women running in this particular election, and have in the past, of course, as well. Joining us as not only a woman, but see how I noticed? But also as a first-time candidate is Donna Hilsinger, who's running in Ward 3. How are you?
I'm great, Luann. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good. So first time.
First time.
And you got maybe 3 weeks left?
I think we'll be 3 weeks starting on Monday, yes.
Yeah.
So what's that, 24 days or something?
So have you felt like it's gone really fast?
No.
It's been hard.
It's been tough. I'm sure that it will go this next few weeks. There's a lot happening in terms of opportunities to debates and being around the public more and so on. So I think this next 3 weeks is really going to fly by.
Well, I think it's also going to be an awesome tool for you and for all the candidates, of course. But it's such a direct link when you're talking about debates and people are either emailing in or you're asked a question that you're not prepared for necessarily.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of engagement from people through social media. People are emailing me. Sometimes I go to the door and they'll say, "Do you have a minute?"
And then you're like, "Oh, here we go."
I say, "Sure," because it really helps me to understand what's important to people and what they'd like to see happen. And last night I had a little meet and greet, and I not only did I hear people's concerns, but I heard a lot, which is very exciting. I heard a lot about their hopes and their dreams for the community, what they like to see happen, because a lot of people are very passionate about who live here. They love this community and they want to see us grow, and they have their own ideas about how that can happen. So that's
so good to hear, because you know what, in the work that I do, unfortunately, I tend to hear a lot about the negative or the challenging in a community, and that people have been scared for the last little while because of the steel plant or youth out migration, all of those issues.
Yeah.
So it's reassuring for me to hear.
Yeah, certainly people, say things like, well, we have a traffic problem, or it's not all rosy.
Of course.
Certainly, but they're trying to look at what's great and then what they'd like to see change, and that'll be, if I'm able to get elected, then those will be the things that we'll work on.
So Ward 3, any big surprises door to door? Like, did somebody ever say something to you and you went, "What?
No.
Really?"
No.
You sort of anticipated.
Well, nothing. Certainly people are in the ward at the doors that I've been at are talking about traffic in the Pea Patch, traffic in the Great Northern Road area, some of those concerns. People are talking about snow removal challenges. People are talking about just other things in their neighborhoods in particular, that in one place or another. So those are the kinds of things that are ward specific, if you will.
Now, with regards to the fact that this is your first time running in a mayoral candidate, or a ward candidate election, has it been interesting because people know who you are, because of the hotel and because of all the committees you sit on? Is that a good thing, or is that?
Well, I have to say that I've been really touched. I have been really touched on a number of occasions by speaking to people who have said, because I never know who knows me. I know a lot of people know who I am, but when you go to a door and somebody says, "I know who you are,"
right?
And then when they say, "I know who you are," and this happened to me. It's happened to me at the door, but it's also happened to me just a couple of days ago on the phone. I was chatting with someone, and he said, "And I live in your ward, and I want you to know that my family's voting for you."
Oh my gosh!
And yesterday at the meet and greet, I know.
Seriously, I just
I know. That's
seriously.
And then yesterday at the meet and
Wow.
greet, the same thing. There was a lady who just happened to be in the room, and she came running over and she said, "I want you to know that I'm going to vote for you." And it just, every time somebody
Wow.
tells me that, I get a little verklempt
Yes.
because it's so touching. It's so touching, and it's a great responsibility too.
Sure,
You know, and once you
absolutely.
get elected, people are putting their trust in you, and they believe in what you can bring to the table. So as I said, every time somebody says, "I'm going to vote for you," I get a little.
No doubt, no doubt. I can't imagine. Talk about the fact that you're a woman in municipal politics, because this is your first foray out into the political world.
Yeah.
Although some of the committees you sit on are political within themselves,
Sure.
this is the first municipal that you've been involved in. Lots of really strong women.
Yes.
Running in wards and,
Yes.
and stuff like that.
And you know, to me, that's as it should be. I think the community will be best served by strong people.
Right.
Strong people, right? And to me, you know, politics has been a male-dominated thing. There's no question about
Absolutely.
it. It is getting more balanced, and it needs to get even more balanced. It'd be great to see in this election that, you know, equal numbers of men and women are elected. In my opinion, the balance of genders at a table and the balance of backgrounds and experience is what helps create the best discussion and conversation, and then decision and action after
You know
that.
what, Donna, I think it's interesting because that's kind of the way I look at things like committees or even, you know, during a debate, for instance. It's always more interesting, but I think the key is to keep reminding yourself to be open to another perspective. Do you think that's what historically is wrong with both sides, with both genders? People forget to just listen and, oh, that's a guy's perspective. Wow, that's really, I never thought of it that way.
Right. So there are people who, in my experience, there are people who listen so that the other person can stop talking long enough so that they can start talking again. Okay.
Gee, that's never happened to me.
There are those kind of people. But then there are people, and I try to be like this, there are people who really listen, right? They listen and they let all of the information and all of the thinking come into their consideration to help them make their own decisions and to be more open and be more accepting and understanding and to really see what other people are going through or what the opportunities might be. So it's I always say, as I said, the balance of genders and experience and background is really important to good working groups.
And as you said, it's never too late to learn, right? If you're listening
Never.
well, there's so much that you can learn if you're paying attention, and you can miss so much if you're not.
Yes, absolutely. Every single day, you will learn something if your mind is
Even if you
open
don't
to
want
it.
to.
If your mind is open to it, you will.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about diversity at a table because you've been with so many committees, Algoma Fall Festival just being one. And you mentioned experience. Why is that important, do you think, to bring to a table?
Because it helps you understand, or if you, whatever experience you bring, you've seen other things happen in the past. And in a lot of cases, people's experience can help guide a process more efficiently. It can bring a different perspective. It can teach, and others, if they're really listening, can learn from something that that they didn't know, or from another person's experience. So those things make for great teams, and changeover in teams makes for great teams too, right? So that you're always bringing new people in, and people are transitioning through and moving on, and et cetera. So yeah, there's a lot to learn and to do in creating good working teams, and that's really what a city council is.
It is,
right?
absolutely. And you are all working for the same goal, for the
Yep.
city of Sault Ste. Marie.
Yep.
Now, having said that, with experience, I feel like it's also really awesome to have experienced some people who are sort of in the middle and then some young perspectives. Do you feel the same way? Because the young people with less experience maybe, come to the table with questions that, again, might not have been posed.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, this is a community, right? And we're here to represent and to make things better for all of our citizens, our families, our children, our young people, our seniors. You know, you have to consider all perspectives, and then sometimes you got to make tough decisions too. And but you know, with the most information, and if you're really listening and engaging, you'll do the best you can.
And I think, too, it's important when you're in a committee format or in a city council format that you're not afraid to ask the question. Do you know what I mean? I hear so many people go, oh, I was going to ask you that, but I felt stupid, right? There's no stupid question in my mind.
No, there isn't.
Mainly because I ask them.
No, I don't think there is a stupid question, honestly. I've learned to not be afraid of asking whatever. You know, sometimes people with very good grammar and linguistic skills will use words that you know, you haven't heard before. That has happened to me, and I will say, I'm sorry, I've never heard that word before. Can you please tell me what it means? Or, you know, I haven't had that experience. Can you tell me what that was like from your perspective? Or I didn't understand your idea. Can you tell me how you came to that conclusion? Mm-hmm. And that just makes for good dialogue. So no, I'm cool with asking stupid questions.
Me too, apparently. Donna, best of luck. We're out of time this morning already. I am, you know, I'm so proud of you, and I think that you're doing an awesome job. And I've interviewed you over the years, and I see you when you are asked a question, take a moment to think about your response, and I think that's very classy and elegant of you. Good luck.
Thank you, Luann.
And enjoy the rest of the campaign.
Oh,
too.
yes. It's going to get fun now.
Yeah, now it's getting fun, for sure.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
Donna.
Oh, you're welcome.
We'll be back with more top story, more top news coming up on TV.